All right. The man with the plan, the man with the knowledge, the man with the wrestling news, the Iceman here on the Iceman V2013 YouTube channel. Here with another video tonight, and this video is appropriately called What's Best for Business. Now, it was recently reported that Triple H has made some remarks about the internet wrestling fans, basically, really insulting them, saying that they don't have a clue, as far as what goes on in the wrestling business. Well, I beg to differ with you, Triple H, and here are a few things that I would like to say. Let me ask you this, Triple H. Was your world heavyweight title reigns back in the late 90s and the early 2000s, were they best for business? Because it seemed like you always had the belt, and when you did have the belt, you had it for quite some time. You always were with the title back then. Now, was that best for business? You got to understand, we still had The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin around back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and as far as I'm concerned, Triple H, both of those guys are head and shoulders above you. They always were, and they always will be. The Rock and Stone Cold were 1 and 2, and in my eyes, Stone Cold Steve Austin, was the guy back when he was around in the WWE, WWF. He was number one, and but Triple H, for you to insult internet wrestling fans, you don't have the clue, because we're the ones that keep the WWE in business. We're the ones who pay all this money out, either whether it be for pay-per-views or the WWE Network. We go to the house shows. We buy the merchandise. We're the ones that keep the WWE in business. And when you say that we don't have a clue, maybe if the WWE listened to us fans, maybe the product wouldn't be on borderline mediocre today, because it's nowhere like it was back in the days when The Rock and Steve Austin were around. And, I'm trying not to compare now to then, but the fact is, fans were more involved back in those days than they are now. And the fans are tired. The fans are tired of seeing the authority on. You've been on for almost a full year. Now, is that best for business? To see you and your wife, Stephanie, come out week after week after week and constantly screwing over the top stars in the business, except the ones that are in your clique, like the Randy Ortons, the Kanes. It's getting old, Triple H. Is this best for business? I really don't think so. I really think it's time for Vince McMahon to make an appearance on Monday Night Raw, come out and confront both you and Stephanie, and really come out and just ask you, what are you doing to my company? What have you done to my company that I've built up to be a huge monopoly in the world of professional wrestling? And have you stand there along with Stephanie and have you give your response, and then have Vince McMahon come out and fire both your candy asses. Triple H, I know you're sitting back and waiting, and you probably cannot wait till the time that Vince McMahon passes on, because then you think to yourself, well, now me and Stephanie got full, total control of the WWE. But I'm going to tell you this. The day Vince McMahon passes away, the wrestling world is going to be in a sad state of affairs. You're going to lose a lot of sponsors. There's going to be tons of sponsors that are going to pull out from the WWE, because most of them are there because of Vince McMahon, not because of you, not because of Stephanie McMahon. Now, my point being, what is best for business? Now, I hear this line every week by Triple H, and I hear this line every week by Stephanie McMahon. Do you think both of you being on week after week after week is best for business? I mean, come on, be all serious now. I think it's time for you two to get off TV. I mean, really, get the hell off TV. Triple H, if you want to be in the spotlight so much, Get back into your tights, get back into the wrestling ring. Because week after week, it's just the same old bullshit from you and the same old bullshit from Stephanie. Now Stephanie's trying to pull a Vince McMahon playbook by being on there and, you know, doing what she does. She's trying to remind us of the Stone Cold and Vince McMahon feud by going after Brie Bella. It's not the same. It never will be the same. And the problem is wrestling tries to relive the past way too damn much. It's the future. Do the future. Now, with that being said, as far as a wrestling product goes, yeah, it's mediocre. I still like it, but you got to understand, you can't do chair shots to the head anymore. You can't do the pile driver anymore. You're not supposed to see blood anymore. I mean, things have changed so much to the point where wrestling is not wrestling anymore. It isn't. You're limited to what you can do in that squared circle. And is that best for business? I mean, the WWF always had sponsors before when all these things were happening. And yes, I do understand things have changed just for the fact that there's injuries and whatnot. But you want to know something? More people have died from the use of steroids in the WWE. And yes, I know you've cleaned up that act. I understand that. That was one of the best things that the WWE ever did. But you're getting to the point where you're trying to make it a squeaky clean product. Well, a squeaky clean product doesn't sell. Now tell me, is that best for business? Triple H, when The Rock and Stone Cold was around, you were always the third fiddle. And then when they left, we had two upcoming stars, Randy Orton and John Cena. Didn't take them long to overshadow you, and now you're the third fiddle once again. To me, I'll always watch the WWE product, but night after night, tuning in to Monday Night Raw and having to drag yourself through 3 hours, knowing we're going to have a long segment by The Authority, which is the same crap week after week. When Daniel Bryan was around, all you did was screw him over. Now John Cena's around, you're screwing him over. You're screwing over Roman Reigns. I mean, enough is enough. Get your asses off TV. Vince, please come back. You want to see ratings? Bring Vince out for one night. You'll see the hugest pop that we've seen in a year. But as far as you go, Triple H, internet wrestling fans don't have a clue. The bottom line is, I think we're more knowledgeable than you are. Your only thing in the back of your mind is what's best for business is because you're married to the business and you know that somewhere down the road you got money now, you know you got a huge amount coming the day Vince passes on. But I'll tell you this, the day Vince passes on is the day wrestling in the WWE dies. This is the Iceman. Peace out, everybody. Have yourself a great Thursday night.